welcome back to Y&R For Life, where we talk about all things Y&R related. We talk about what's going on, my predictions, what do I think's going to happen. Hey, we even talk about fashion on this show from time to time because I'm a big time fashion girl, so we got to spill the tea about that from time to time. If you're new to this channel, my question is, what took you so long to get here? And if you are returning, what's up? Long time no see. This week definitely had its hits and misses, but I think we can gather something from this week with what went on. But a couple of disclaimers first. If you don't want to know what's going on, you kind of want to get caught up on your own, this may not be what you want to see or hear, but I am so grateful that you are here. And if I happen to not mention anything in particular, it could be because I plumb forgot or it really just wasn't newsworthy, so I didn't bother mentioning it. It is what it is. Nature of the beast, that's what I like to call it. And if you do like this type of content, you like what you see, you like what you hear, it would be so kind if you hit that like and subscribe button and also the bell notification so that you don't miss a single video that I post here on Y&R For Life. So let's see where we go with this week. The beginning of the week, it did start with Jack and Diane at Society, Phyllis walking in. Really, all that was like needle between, like, really it was basically Diane and Phyllis, and Jack was trying to, albeit siphon information out of Phyllis, which Jack, that's not going to happen. Phyllis is like a closed door with, about 10 deadbolt locks on. It's not going to happen. So he's there trying to get information concerning Kane, but it's not working out. They had a little, small conversation about little Harrison, who in my head is going to be like a full-blown, pre-teen by the time he shows back up, going to Walnut Grove or something, but whatever. Yeah. So then again, Phyllis and Diane go at it, so much so that by the end of that, Diane's all riled up, and Jack was like, I was trying to get information, and she's like, "Oh, she just gets on my nerves, and she knows how to get." And Jack was like, "Can you dial it down next time? Because again, I'm trying to get information." Once again, Jack, not gonna happen. All right, that was them. Moving right along to dum dum dum, Kyle. Let me just say this. And I think I said something to the effect last week. Kyle, you are just not wise. You're not wise. Why? Because the ending of last week, you proposed to Claire. If that didn't look like a please take me back, I'm an idiot for what I did kind of move, I don't know what was. And of course, Claire just sees right on through this thing. Her little bing spidey senses were like, you gotta be kidding me. So much so that she's like, when did you buy the ring? Man, I would have asked the exact same question. When did you buy this ring? We just had like a huge argument, as she said, the biggest one of their relationship, and now all of a sudden there's a ring? And mind you, this guy is swimming in wealth, and I looked at that ring going, was it missing a few carats there? Not that, it's all about that for me, but we're talking about the show here. Even Abby got something better than that. Like, come on. Anyway, I digress. So basically, Kyle tail between his legs at this point, because Claire's like, because you're asking me to marry you. We just had this big fight. This seems very suspicious. You're trying to weasel out of what you did with Audra, and I'm not having it. Like, what next? Are you going to want to have kids with me, like, now? Like, what is this? I chuckled with that. I'm like, oh. And he's like, well, yeah, eventually, and, we're just doing different steps instead of, moving in together, which I know we should have done, but, let's just go, like, tally ho straight into marriage. You know, Kyle, no, no, wrong move. And even your parents told you, facial expression, Diane, not good. But you did. And after Claire was like, I'm not having this, whatever, even though she was also saying that she believes that he loves her, she believes this, she believes that, but she also needs some time. So he was like, can we just like forget there was a proposal? Can we forget that there's a ring? Forget all of that. And just kind of like start over the night. Which I will say, her dress, I'm not a big one shoulder fan. However, she looked really nice in that dress that she was wearing. What was it, black, navy blue? Can't recall, but it was nice on her. And she was like, "Oh yeah, okay, well we'll start over." Awkward. It was very awkward. She was like, "Well, I got a promotion." He's like, "Oh, wonderful, wonderful." I can't even remember what her position is, but somehow Victor's going to roll it in to chancellor to whatever. So it's like the best of both worlds for her, and she's a happy clam. And Kyle was happy for her, but whatever she did say, I can't remember what it was, but she did say something to him, and then his whole mood just went wah wah wah, like he was almost, dare I say, in tears. Shameful. And she left. I was like, okay, Claire. Well, she leaves. Again, Kyle. Let's just finish with Kyle for a moment, if you will. He is wallowing in the depths of despair. Eventually, his parents come home, and he's like, well, I should have listened, blah, 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 and well, Jack's like, did she flat out turn you down? He's like, no, she said she needs some time. Well, see there, son. She didn't say, it's over. She just give her some time. He goes, well, what if she doesn't call me the next day? Oh, get over it, Kyle. Stop. Anyway, let's just leave Kyle where he's at for the moment. Move over back to Claire. She ends up finding herself, where was it? Was it Society? No, I feel, no, it was the coffee house. Because she looked all frazzled. Esther saw her, and Esther was like, maybe you need some decaf. You don't need any caffeine at this point in time. She's like, no, I'm good. She turns around, because I was like, insert Holden. And sure enough, she turns around. There's Holden sitting down. He gives his little 2 cents. And he was like, basically, both of them are having like one of those evenings. And she, with her little, man, she looks like, like a cat that's just watching you, waiting to like pounce. That was her look. That's the best way I can explain it. And she goes over towards Holden and basically says to him, she's had a night and she wants to get sloshed. Yep, she wants to get hammered. She wants to get drunk. Like, just blithered drunk. Is that even a word? But anyway, that's what she wants. She wants to be stone drunk. And she's like, would you care to join me? Who says this? I don't know. So they go to Society, and it was Vespers all around. I knew it. And she's like, yeah, I'll probably end up having at least 4 of them. And he's like, oh, whoa, what brought this on? What? And she's like, I'm an adult and I'm grown. And, if I feel like getting drunk, then that's my business. And if you're not going to support me, support you? What? If you're not going to support me, you can leave. But I'm going to handle my business because this is what I want to do. Okay, Claire, I mean, you don't make much sense, but I mean, I get it. You're grown. this is what you want to do. From somebody who never drank whatsoever to now all of a sudden you are a Vesper extraordinaire. I'm like, oh, okay. Before that, let's go back to Kyle. I'm telling you, it's like this back and forth thing. Kyle, he's out for a run. You know, he's trying to jog off his frustration and everything. And who does he bump into? Audra. She's all dressed and she's on her run. It's like, she didn't even break a sweat. But she's like, oh, Kyle. And he basically says to her, you don't talk about, almost like Nick, you don't talk about Claire. You don't mention her name. You don't say nothing about her. And she's like, okay. He's like, if you even try to come between us again, will destroy you. I'll destroy you. I was like, well then, Kyle, I like that. So she was needling him, he was needling her, and eventually that ended. He toddles, runs off, runs back home, sees Jack. They have a little conversation once again about Claire, and that was just a complete somber mood. Fast forward to back to Claire and Holden, who walks into society all dressed to the nines. Audra. My daughter was like, how'd she get dressed so fast? Okay. So she's like, well, my, look at this little cozy date that's going on here. He's like, Audra, it's not a date. Like, it's just two friends having a drink. Meanwhile, Claire is getting ready to slur her words, and she's like, why are you here? Why don't you go away? Just leave. She was a funny drunk, that Claire. She was very funny. So Audra's like, I wonder what Kyle would think about this little date that's going on here. He's like, Audra, stop it. Enough. Well, they went at it. It got to the point where Claire was like, oh, so where's your boyfriend? Where's Nate? All alone, are we? Did he figured it out? He kicked you to the curb, didn't he? She was like, Audra was like saying to Claire about how Kyle must have dumped her. And she's like, no, we're still together. Like, cut it out. Like, enough. It got to the point where whatever Claire had said to Audra, Audra's like, get ready to fisticuff her. Holden's like, hold back. I'm telling you, they were funny. Eventually, they leave. That would be Claire and Holden. Let me give you a side note. While they were at society getting plastered, the two of them, Claire was asking Holden about whatever relationship he had with Audra back in New York. What was it? What happened? And turns out there was probably some nefarious thing going on. Up to now, this is almost like a Mariah story where we don't know what happened, what transpired in New York between the two of them. But I propose that we will learn about this probably either next week or within the coming weeks, because I don't think Holden, I don't think he can hold that in with himself. He's just going to be like a slip and slide and just bleh. Audra, she'll try to maybe backpedal, but that's what Audra does. And she ends up, singing the tune at some point in time because she's just completely backed into a corner. All right. So they left. They end up back to Crimson Lights. Did I mention that they were at Crimson Lights to begin? I might have said the coffee house. So they went back to Crimson Lights, and Claire, again, she was kind of plastered at this point. So much so She tried to put her purse on the chair. I don't know if you noticed, but she tried to put her purse on the chair, and that thing just slipped off. She left it there. I'm like, okay. Yeah, so they had it. Her and Holden had their conversation. They furthered it, where once again Holden did not give out any information concerning his relationship with Audra back in New York. Claire, all the best. I believe it's probably going to come out very soon. We'll probably learn about it faster than Mariah, because has anybody seen Mariah? I know I haven't, but whatever. All right. I want to finish up with Kyle. Just know that Kyle ends up meeting up with Victoria at some point in time, and he basically was singing his woes to Victoria. Victoria basically was like, "Look, give her some time. You know what? Yes, we know what you did was wrong, but we know that you love her, and yeah, just relax. She'll talk to Claire on his behalf, but just don't make her regret her decision to assist." That's pretty much that. Claire did bump into them at the coffee house and basically confronted Kyle about his deal with Victor concerning her. She doesn't know the actual deal, but she just knows there was a deal. Why? Because Victor, she had a conversation with Victor, and Victor basically, verbal diarrhea, he says it. Part of me feels as though Victor said it purposely. I don't know. I don't think he said it with the notion that maybe Kyle had said something to her already. I truly believe that there's that part of Victor was like that, almost like final dig. But what Victor, through the conversation with Claire, Victor was very, you know, nice when it came to Kyle. He just was like, you know what? He passed the test where I was concerned. I can tell he really loves you. And he was like, with whatever you're saying to me, I feel like there's a part of you, Claire, that wants to make me like be upset at Kyle. And I'm not doing that. I can't do that because once again, he passed it. He passed the test that I had created for him. Yeah, I don't believe like none of it. Victor, I love you, but I don't believe any of that. So it's just, again, it's all about timing, what's going to, come about where this is concerned. Again, it kind of left Claire aghast over like, Grandpa, you're taking Kyle's side. She didn't say that, but that was just kind of like the look on her face was like, what? Anyway, all right, so that's pretty much them, because they could probably take up the entire time here. Quickly, at one of the episodes, for the majority of the episode, we saw Nikki treating Victor to, I really don't know what that was for. She had some sort of music playing at the house where he came home, and she had like all his favorite food, and she was trying to wine and dine him, that kind of thing. I just didn't get it. Were we aware of there was some sort of, milestone, like actual literal milestone from the show? It's not the 50-year, it's not, what was that for? And the whole time they talked about Kane and I think it was Kyle and Claire. I was like, and then they're like, well, this is a wonderful evening. What? Like, yeah. Oh, okay. I mean, Victor was like, yeah, Nikki, you look so sexy. I'm like, okay, Victor, like, wow. But yes, it was quaint. I just didn't get it. Like, what the point of that on the show this week what I didn't get it. I mean, even Victor was like, "Is it Valentine's Day?" No. Okay. Yeah. So what else? Okay, concerning Kane, because this guy, I'm trying to give Billy Flynn, I'm trying to give him, like a real chance as Kane, but oh boy, I'm still not used to it. I'm still comparing him to Daniel Goddard, where I understand they're two completely different people, and maybe they try to recreate, um, you know, Kane and just kind of almost like a brand new and improved Kane. I just, no, he wouldn't. The old Kane, I just don't see him acting this ruthless. Yes, but not this ruthless. Anyway, so as you know, Charlie and Maddie pretty much they have washed their hands of their father and they're like, yeah, we're not doing this type thing. So Kane is now into this whole thing about he's trying to repair his relationship, not only with the kids, once again, he's still trying to repair this relationship with Lily. By the way, I believe Crystal Khalil is pregnant in real life, which is why we're seeing all these big bags and, these jackets. Even when she was in the park, the way she was standing, her jacket was like straight out like this. So you couldn't see. Yeah. So, in case you wondered. And they were in the park, and Lily told Kane about how she watched his video message to the kids, and basically it warmed, the deep, dark parts of her heart, almost, shed a tear over it, and it kind of reminded her of the Kane that she once knew. I didn't get it. So once again, she is like harping on Kane to tell her, what is your plan? What are you doing? I don't get this. You're driving me insane. Like, what's going on? He's like, Lily, I am the same man you knew, and I'm. Where's the violins? Rant, rant, rant. Cue Phyllis. Oh, hi, hey there. Oh, is this like a private party that's going on here? I'd have to say this is probably the outside of Kyle telling Audra, I will destroy you. That part and this part with Phyllis and Kane, how he kept saying, shut up, Phyllis, shut up. What are you doing? And Lily's like, you know what? I've had enough. I'm going to go. Phyllis just would not keep quiet. And then by the time Lily storms off, Kane's like, Phyllis, what the hell was that? What? By the end of his conversation to Phyllis, like just reaming her, he's like, I'm going to say something. Once again, are you listening? Are you listening, Phyllis? Hear me. Like, do not basically insert yourself with my relationship ever, ever again. Like, this guy's like, once again, bada bing, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom. He is just dusting people, like, left, right, and don't say this, don't say that, don't. And the look on Phyllis's face was like, she was like a little girl being scolded, for taking like the last cookie out of the cookie jar type thing. Oh boy. Phyllis, once again, I don't know. This is not good for you. You should listen to Nick and like hit the road. But you won't. It is what it is. We did see Kane had told Victor he is not going to get involved with none of his craziness that he wants him to do. And Victor's like, oh, well, I really wasn't asking you. I was actually giving you an order to do it. Yeah, so I guess I'm just gonna have to like let the cat out of the bag concerning Madame De Leon. Yeah, but Kane's like, well, you know what? I gotta repair the relationship between me and my kids and my family. Like that's my first priority, really my only priority at this point in time. Victor's like, looky here. I know that you have this thing with this AI stuff that could infiltrate these businesses. Yeah. So you're gonna do this for me and take Jabot down, take it all the way down. This is really not me just. And Kane's like, look, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have a clue. It's just like, who do you think you're fooling? Who do you think you're dealing with here? I am Victor Newman. And Kane just was like, yeah, okay. Meanwhile, on the side, our good friend Michael that we hardly see anymore, he comes around and he was summoned to Kane's North American train. And Kane was like basically saying, I want you to work for me. We don't know the amount, but apparently he's like, yeah, okay, take down my number. So he's like, doot, 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 in Michael's phone, puts him as a favorite, puts himself as a favorite in Michael's phone. And I guess he gave him a salary amount for a year. And he's like, yeah, that's just to start. And Michael is like, oh my, that's quite the amount. And he's like, yeah, I thought you'd think so. How much was it? Could you send some my way? I'm just saying. So, yes, now Michael is in quite the conundrum as to does he take this job? Silly Michael. He went over to Victor's office. Victor basically, puppet master Victor was he wasn't the kindest to Michael and was like, what are you here to beg for your job back? It's not gonna happen. But he already knows. Well, Michael basically told him about Kane, and he was like, okay, yeah, this is basically what you're gonna do. Without even really saying it, he basically told Michael that you do this, you're actually going to be helping me at the end of the day. So you're almost like you're working for me again, but I'm going to make sure that you're going to pay for what you did. Oh, Michael, what are you going to do? You did the right thing. You tried to contact Lauren. She's off in New York trying to fix up Cricket's wedding dress or whatever. I'm like, oh no. Word on the street is Phyllis is going to try and mess with that marriage. That I'm like, oh no. Just once again, Phyllis, don't do anything. Just let Danny and Cricket ride on off into the sunset. And we don't have to see the wedding. We don't have to know about it. Just let them go. And I think lastly, again, the Newman kids, they're, trying to back up Victor with this whole Kane AI craziness. Um, well, on a side note, I will say this. Victoria in that red, she was on point. Finally, she looked so good. I will give her that. Her hair was done. She looked great. Thank you, stylist. Yes, so I think lastly we will talk about Sally and Billy. I mean, I was kind of bored where they were concerned, but what you need to know is that Billy has asked for Sally to come and live with him. I don't know why Billy's so quick to ask people to come live with him. Like, enough. Him and Lily live together. Him and Phyllis live together. Oh, side note, I don't know how true this is. I heard Gina Gina, who used to play, I'm never going to pronounce her last name correctly, Tognoni. Um, as far as she used to play Phyllis. As far as I heard, she's supposed to be coming back to play Sally's mother. Don't quote me. This is what I heard. How true this is, I don't know. Roger Horvath, I believe, um, that I knew as Todd Manning. I believe it was One Life to Live. He's coming on the show. Apparently, it's all hush hush, but from what I heard, and I would love this to be true, that he would be playing, what was his name? Dylan McAvoy, the one that was married to Sharon, who went off into witness protection. That would be good because, as far as I understand, Nick and Sharon may not get back together. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about Billy and Sally. There's not much to tell. But I also heard that he could be playing Tucker McCall. That I don't believe one bit. But okay, whatever. Not a right fit as far as Dylan. Yes, I could see that. All right, back to Billy and Sally. He asked her to move in. Basically, she's like, sure, no problem, as long as Johnny, Katie, whoever is okay with it. And yeah, they were all, Sally was all in preparation for her, the Abbott communication launch. She was trying to get Audra, like, let's get this together, sweetheart. Enough of this, like, drama. Let's get our head in the game. And yeah, so that's pretty much what you need to know with Sally and Billy. Not much more. Yeah, not much more. So there you have it, folks. If you stuck around to the end of this video, I am so grateful. I really appreciate your time. I love you lots. And let's just see what this week's is going to hold. I have a sneaking suspicion that this week is going to be much juicier than it was last week. I hope that my prediction is true, that it will be better. Yeah, other than that, let's just see what happens. And I think, there's going to be something finally between Tessa and Daniel. Shh. All right, guys, you take care, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and also the bell notification, and share. Why? Because sharing is caring. Again, you guys take care, and I will catch you on the next video.